So what I really want you guys to do for this presentation, we're gonna change gears a little bit. It's gonna be a little bit different. Not gonna talk about really much claims at all, but something a little bit different. So what I really want you guys to do is make sure that you have a pen and paper. Please make sure that you have a pen and paper. If anybody here who's helping out, we could make sure that everyone's got a pen and paper. I want to make this interactive in a way, and I want to give you guys some exercises that you can do to just sort of help you guys in your business. Who here is a business owner and owns their business? If you could raise your hand. Everyone in the room, in my opinion, should be raising their hand. Because if you're a public adjuster and you work for another public adjusting firm, well, you know what? You're handling your clients, you're handling the marketing, you're handling a lot of the sales. Unless your company has found the right people to help you do that, you're pretty much doing that stuff on your own, okay? So everyone should be raising their hands, and that's why this exercise is gonna really help you guys a lot. So my name is Vince Perri. I am a licensed certified public adjuster. I've been a public adjuster for 15 years. I'm licensed in Florida, I'm licensed in Georgia, I'm licensed in Texas, I'm licensed in California, Illinois, and I think North Carolina too. But basically, I've been a public adjuster for a long time, and my company, I'm CEO of Elite Resolutions. We are a public adjusting firm. You guys know what public adjusters do? That's what we do. We help clients. Our number one goal, our BHAG. Does anybody know what BHAG stands for? Our big, hairy, audacious goal. I don't know why hairy's in there, but our big, hairy, audacious goal is to become the number one public adjusting firm in the country. But what does that look like? Most people think that looks like revenue. For me, it's having 100% customer and employee satisfaction. It could be a utopia that I'm living in, but that's where I want to be. I want all of our customers to be happy with our services, and I want our employees, I want our workplace environment to be 100% satisfaction guarantee where everyone is really enjoying their work. I'm also the CEO of Commercial Claims Advocate. We're basically just calling it CCA now. Basically what CCA is, we're a consulting firm, and we are basically consulting, and we're helping public adjusters throughout the entire country scale their businesses and make sure that they're being successful as a public adjuster. Because I know, being a public adjuster for 15 years, it's very difficult when you're starting out. It's very difficult to get your name out there and to start signing those claims. So that's what we do at Commercial Claims Advocate. And our BHAG, our big, hairy, audacious goal in CCA, is to never have to answer the question, what is a public adjuster? How many of you guys hate that? Come on, tell me, if you're a public adjuster, how often when somebody asks, what do you do for a living, you're just like, I gotta answer this question again. I'm a public adjuster. What the hell is that? Oh, I didn't know those existed. So our BHAG, our number one goal is to spread so much awareness through social media channels and different things, and to help enough public adjusters that it just becomes the norm, that everybody knows that you could hire an insurance adjuster on your behalf to help you represent your claim. I don't know if we'll get there, but one day. And then for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm the host of the Commercial Claims Show on YouTube. That's pretty much been the catalyst of why I'm here today on this stage, is because I was able to launch a fairly successful YouTube channel, giving away free content every single Wednesday for the last 3 years to public adjusters and to policyholders as well, to make sure they understand what I call sometimes the insurance claim game. I know Cal hates that one, but that's what I call it sometimes. So one thing that's going to surprise you that I want to really grab your attention with is, what if I told you I didn't like being a public adjuster? What if I told you that all the crap that we have to do as public adjusters sometimes makes me feel like, man, I freaking hate this job. There's so many things that we have to do. Just to name a few, you got to climb up roofs all the time. You got to go out there, do field inspections. You got to negotiate with the insurance company. You got to fight with the insurance company. You got to argue with the insurance company. You got to argue with your clients. You got to follow up on a weekly basis. You got to gather up all the documentation. You got to make sure you have all the experts online. That's not even, I haven't even gotten to the sales and marketing of, you got to door knock. You got to market yourself, you got to go on social media, you got to post videos, you got to do all these things that it's just like so overwhelming sometimes that you can't keep up. And a lot of times, most of those things you don't even like to do. Some of those things maybe you do like. And that's the purpose of my presentation today. It's why I want everybody, not just public adjusters. I speak to the public adjuster more because that's what I've been doing. But for the attorneys in the group and for anybody who owns a business, I really want you to participate in this because I want to help you not only better your business, but hopefully a little bit, maybe kind of better your life a little bit as well. Okay? So I just listed a bunch of stuff that we do as public adjusters. I want you to get your pen and paper. Okay? I'm going to give you guys 1 minute. Cal, I want you to do it too. Melanie, no pressure. Pen and paper. I want you guys to list every single thing that you guys do on a daily basis, from sending emails to receiving emails to making phone calls to talking to clients to sending a follow-up email, sending a settlement email, negotiating, climbing on a roof, lifting up tiles, whatever it is, filing complaints. I want you guys to go ahead. I'm going to give you guys 1 minute. I'm going to be quiet for 1 minute, and I want you guys to, yes? Huh? Yeah, I know. I'll give you guys a minute to write down as much. There is a purpose to this, guys. We're going to get to a conclusion eventually. So, you're in general your routine that you do, not insurance specifically, like what you do on a daily basis when it comes to work. I know. This is the purpose of this presentation. I should time it. No pressure. Randolph, where's your pen and paper? Come on, man. No, really, I want you to do this. This is gonna be good. Matt, you typing it over there? Good. All right, so we'll leave it at that. It's insane, right? Like you're right, we could be here for 30 minutes. We could be writing this list. Now, the goal of this presentation is going to get us we want to get to a place where we're only doing the things that we love, right? So Dan Sullivan from Strategic Coach, he calls it your unique ability. We want to get to a place eventually where you're only doing the things that you're passionate about. You're only doing the things that you excel at. You're only doing the things that you just wake up every morning and you're just like, oh, I can't wait to do that. There are things, believe it or not, in your job that exist like that. And that's eventually where we want to get to a place. So to give you guys a little bit before and after about myself, I'm originally from Miami, Florida. Played pretty much just sports my whole life. An avid tennis player. Luckily enough, I was able to get a partial tennis scholarship to Slippery Rock University. Does anybody know where that is? In Pennsylvania. Small school, one traffic light. I lasted literally 1 year because I was from Miami. If I would have gotten a nickel for every time somebody asked me, what the hell are you doing here? But I was up there playing tennis. I ended up leaving there. I went to Florida International University. And I'm a sports management major. But the department was so small in FIU, when I got my diploma and I graduated, I was so pissed because I literally have a Bachelor of Science in Physical Education. So it's a PE coach up here giving you guys an insurance claim presentation. And after that, that's basically what was my thing. I became a tennis instructor because that's what I knew best, and that was the easiest way to make money, and I did really, really well for a very long time. And leadership, for some reason, has always been attracted to me, or I've been attracted to leadership. People have asked me to be in leadership positions, and I've taken up those opportunities. And I was asked to be a tennis director of a tennis facility back in 2005, and then Hurricane Wilma came. I'm not an insurance adjuster yet. Hurricane Wilma came. It kind of busted up the facility. We had to change some things, and I wasn't really cool with what the owner of the company wanted to do, so we split ways. My first failure, my first firing. Then I just became more of a tennis instructor. I was working at the YMCA at a local Miami YMCA. Was doing that for a while. I started teaching a public adjuster who told me he was a public adjuster, and he made a lot of money, and that's what I decided that I wanted to do. So I started doing public adjusting and teaching tennis at the same time. I go to work at I forgot to tell you, I did work at State Farm for 1 year also. I did do that. I quit tennis for 1 year, worked at State Farm as an auto desk adjuster. That only lasted a year because corporate America is not for me. But then I went back to a different tennis facility, and I was asked again to be tennis director. And as I'm tennis director, I think that I've got sort of my hands in it. I think I'm getting a handle of it. I'm out there still teaching. I'm out there still grinding, right? And I'm out there doing all these things, trying to really grow the tennis academy. Fast forward a year and a half, made a bad hire. I hired the wrong person for our staff. He basically turned the entire staff against me, and I ended up firing him. He sued the company. Fast forward a few months after that, after they settled out, I got fired. I got fired again. Second time I got fired from a leadership position. And then I own my own tennis academy. So now I'm not just in a management position, I actually own my own business. I own my own tennis academy. While owning the tennis academy, we had 4 tennis courts, and I had 1 coach working for me, and I would be out there grinding every day. I'd be out there teaching, right? Because nobody can do it as good as us. Nobody can teach. Nobody's going to teach a tennis class as good as me. Nobody's going to get to relate and understand the kids and the customers and the parents. They're not going to do it as good as I'm going to do it, so I'm out there teaching, I'm out there grinding. Every day I'm public adjusting from basically 9 a.m. to about 3 p.m., and I'm out on the court teaching from 4 p.m. to sometimes 9 p.m. My wife used to just be like, you're insane, but this is my passion. This is what I love, is tennis. So I was doing that for a while, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. And by the way, if there's anybody here that doesn't pay themselves a salary, please start tomorrow. Because I owned my business as a tennis instructor. I never paid myself $1. I never paid myself a salary. Freaking moron. So, but hey, I'm sure it happens, right? So if there's anybody here, you don't have to raise your hand. Make sure you start paying yourself tomorrow. Include that in your expenses. So 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, barely make any profit, right? We really just barely launch anywhere. I end up getting rid of the tennis academy and not doing it. So basically fail again, right? But like, what's the point of that story? What I really want to get to is, now we're at a point after hiring a business coach, after hiring the right people, we have commercial claims advocate, elite resolutions that is really on its way. We have up to 25 people that are independent and also employees. And it all started with 1 hire. Okay, it all started with 1 hire, Milan. For those of you who don't know, the YouTube channel, I started doing it myself. And after about 4 or 5 months, I hired somebody and I got really lucky with a great hire. And to this day, 3 years later, he's still with me, and he is the marketing manager of both of our companies, and he's just kicking butt, and it's allowed the YouTube channel to grow. And then I also made a great admin hire. Her name is Tammy. Again, 2.5 years later, she's still with me. And she leads all of the admins to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. There's nobody who's got higher execution than that person. But what I learned is if you get the right people around you, they can take away a lot of those things that you don't want to do. So back to our list. Okay? I'm going to give you guys 30 more seconds to keep going. Okay? Keep expanding on that list. Go ahead. I'm getting a call from USAA. How about that? So now I want you to look at your list. Sean, you got your list in front of you? I want you to look at your list, what you've got now, and you guys are going to have homework, so you'll be able to expand on that list. But I want you to look at your list. And there's the old 80-20. I feel like there's a million different 80-20 rules, right? Well, we're going to take an 80-20 rule, and I want you guys to only circle 20% of the things on that list that you actually enjoy doing. Or 20% of the things that you think you, as the business owner or whatever position you're in, should be focusing on right now. Okay? So if you got 10 things, only circle 2. If you got 20 things, 4. Try to really pick. We really want to get to the unique ability, which is the stuff that you're passionate about, the things that you really enjoy doing the most. And if you were to do these 2 or 3 or 4 things, you would wake up every morning feeling really motivated and ready to rock and roll. Do we have do we have any volunteers that would like to share their list? Come on. Anybody? Tina? Yes. Okay, I want you to stand up. I want you to say your name, what you do, your company, and. That's awesome. That's fantastic. That's super cool. That's great. Anybody else? Matt, stand up. Thank you for helping me, sir. Yes, I'd like for you to read. I would like for you, however many there are, I want you to read the list of the things that you do on a daily basis, and then what are the things that you're most passionate about? Wow. What? All right. So what 2 or 3 or 4 did you circle? Guys, give a round of applause to Matt Mulholland. Thank you, Matt, for participating. I appreciate that. So what do you do? How can you actually get to this place where you're only doing those things? Tina, I think you know, you have to hire the right people, right? That's number one. The number one thing you have to do, the greatest thing that I've learned, well, amongst a lot of other things, is a saying, again, Dan Sullivan, strategic coach, it's called who, not how. I tell this to my whole team all the time, and every time I speak to somebody, I always bring it up somehow. You need to change your mindset that when an idea comes, or an issue comes about, or a solution needs to be solved, instead of always thinking, how do I need to solve it? You need to think, who can do it? Who can do it for me? Who do I need to hire? What consulting firm do I need to hire? How can I, ChatGPT maybe be able to help? I don't know, whatever it is. But you have to try to change your mindset to a who mentality and not so much of a how. So you can get it off your plate so you could focus on the things that you're truly passionate about. Because let's face it, 2 things are going to happen when you're focusing on what you're passionate about. Number 1, you're going to wake up more excited every morning. You're going to enjoy your life. Your loved one is probably going to enjoy having you around a little bit more. And honestly, when you're focusing on the things that need to be focused on as a business owner, your company will scale. That's how you go to the next level in your company. Another word of advice that's helped me a lot also is breaking up my week. Okay, so you guys are going to like this one. All right, so I break up my week into 3 kinds of days. All right, so let's think of an athlete. All right. For those of you guys that don't like the Miami Heat, I don't care. I'm a Miami Heat fan. And Miami Heat or any athlete has game days, right, when they play the actual game. There's practice days where they prepare for those days, and then there's off days. If you could break up your time into those 3 days, you will be much more productive. So my point is okay, hey, Vince, I'm not ready to just get rid of this 80%. To give it to somebody else because I don't have the right person yet. Okay, fine. But on that 20%, try to at least have 1 or 2 days of your week where all you focus on is the 20%. And you don't focus on anything else. Only those things. Those are called your focus days. Those are called your game days. The 80% stuff that you're eventually trying to get rid of, which to me, it's like the meetings, it's the inspections, it's some of the negotiations, it's just a lot of that stuff. That's gonna be on your practice days. Right? All our meetings, I have every single one of my meetings is on a Monday. No meetings for the rest of the week. They're all on Monday, okay? And then the last thing that I really enjoy, like we all should, is the off days, is the free days, okay? I've been able to now implement every other Friday I'm off because my wife works 7 on, 7 off. So on the weeks that she's off, not only are my days, actually I cut them short, they're much shorter, but every Friday and Thursday on the week that she's off, I'm off. Everybody in the company knows Vince is off, don't bother him. And then what happens with that, what I've been noticing is you start to develop a self-managing company, right? Because you're trusting your people to do the things that they're supposed to do. And the sooner that we could all get to a self-managing company, who wants a self-managing company, right? That's the goal of like everybody is be able to run it itself. The more confidence you give in your team to do the things, all these things and make those important decisions too. Guys, you don't have to make every single important decision. We had a decision that we made on HR just last week I wasn't even involved in. And I was like, awesome. And it was a great decision. So, homework. I would like for you guys tonight to try to expand on that list, okay? And one really cool exercise that I've done is you take a piece of paper, and if you could do it now, if you have a piece of paper, you split it up into 4 quadrants. Okay, this is just something I learned in some book, I don't know where it was. On the top left, you're gonna put things I love to do and I'm great at. On the top right, things I like to do and I'm good at. On the bottom left, things I like to do, No, things that I don't like to do and I'm good at. And then on the bottom right is things I don't like to do and I'm not good at. I think it's pretty obvious. We want to get to one quadrant. We eventually want to get to a place where we're only focusing on those things. So you can take your list, expand on it, and then you separate it into all 4 quadrants, and you want to get to a place where you're only doing the things that you love to do and that you're great at. The other piece of homework that I had was to, the few things that you guys have, the 2, 3, 4, 5 things that you have, I want you to take each of those, all right? And I want you to put, what's the benefit? What's the benefit of only focusing on this thing for your business and for your life? All right? What is the benefit going to be? What's the course of action that you need to take today to make sure that you're only focusing on that, and put a deadline on it? I like to put quarterly deadlines, but sometimes these things, if it's an immediate action that you need to take, then it could be like a week deadline. But you definitely want to get to a place where you're only focusing on the things that you love to do. Because let's face it, what's the most important? I mean, I was watching, you guys know that The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson? He had a documentary, it was on the airplane, I watched it, I thought it was okay, it wasn't too bad. But the whole thing came down to something that I believed for so long. And I might get a little morbid here, but it is what it is. Once we all come to an understanding that our lives can be over in just 1 second, you have to make sure that you're living your life fully to the best of your capability and doing the things that you love to do. You know, for those of you that went to the Miami event that we had, you know, I gave you guys the story of my wife being diagnosed with cancer, 26 weeks pregnant. We didn't know that was going to happen. Things happen, right? And we've been able to come out of the situation and we're doing fantastic now, better than ever. But it's just things in life that happen that could really just be like, what am I doing working in all these things that I don't want to do? So the sooner you guys can get to a place where you're just only doing the things that you're passionate about, and then ultimately spending more time with your loved ones and the people that you want to, the better your life will be. Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate the time. See you guys later.
All right, everybody, let's take a 5-minute break and then we'll